In this video, I'm going to talk about getting our spreadsheet set up for the beginning of our budget challenge. We've already done a lot of the work for the budget challenge. We chose all of our vendors. Those are all green, which is required by Thursday, the start date of our simulation. Now we want to get our spreadsheet all set up to reflect all that so we know if we're going to have enough money. And we're going to do that by looking over here in the right column. In the yellow column where it says a balance, if that ever turns red, it means we went negative and we've got to do something different, or we're going to start having fees for using too much of our money. So the first thing to do is to make sure that your start date is right here. So our start date is February 11, 2001. The second thing to do is to put in the first green box your starting balance. So our starting checking account balance is at the top of our job page. It says we start with $1,221.73. And then because I chose a 15% contribution to my 401k, we'll go down and we'll look at the net pay down here. And it says that my net pay is $1,045.04. And I get paid every 2 weeks starting on the 7th day. So right here, I'm going to put $1,045.04. Whoops, that's the wrong cell. Let me try that again. Here. And then I'm going to go to all the green cells after that and put in that same amount because that's how much I get paid every 2 weeks. I'm going to change, there we go, I should be able to see a little better now. So my paychecks are all set. The total amount of money that I'm going to get for the whole simulation is $6,446.93. So if I can spend less than that, I'll be in good shape. But the reason we're doing the cash flow workshop spreadsheet is that I also need to make sure that not just I don't spend that total, but that I don't spend more than I have in the bank at any time. So I can't spend $6,000 the first week. I only have $1,200 the first week. So next I'm going to go back to my vendors and I'm going to look at the next tab over here. I'm going to skip over bank because that one's all set. I'm going to go to rent. And the rent one is a little different than some of the others because the rent is different the first month, right? We're moving in on the 11th. So for that first month, we only have to pay our money for the rest of February, but then we also have to pay our deposit. So it tells you in here, so I've chosen option number 2. My rent is $500 a month. My security deposit is $550. But because there's only part of a month that first month, it tells us that the first bill will be $871.43. So I don't have to pay the full $1,050. I only have to pay $871.43 for most of February, or for about 2/3 of February. So the first invoice is on the 11th. It's due 7 days later. So I'm going to go in here, find my apartment rent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days later, and that's the day that I owe $871.43. Now the rest of the months, the rent is billed on the 1st. It's due 7 days later. If we add those together, 1 plus 7 is 8. So it has to be paid no later than the 8th of the month. I usually like to pay my bills early, so I'm going to plan on paying at least 1 day early. But And in fact, I think I'm going to move this one up here up also, because there's no problem if I have enough money, but if I pay late, that is a problem. So I might not be able to move this 500 before this paycheck, but I can do it on the 6th or the 7th and I won't have any problem. I can do it on the 8th and that's fine. If I do it on the 9th, they will charge me $25 plus $5 a day. So that might get pretty expensive. All right, so then I'll go down to April. I'm going to go down to April 7th also and put in my $500 there as well. All right, so now most of the bills aren't like that where they're different the first month, but some of them also are only once. So if we take a look at, for example, renter's insurance, I've chosen for my renter's insurance option number 1, I have to pay $195, but that is only due one time. All right, it is billed February 12th. It's due 9 days later. So, but it's an annual bill, so I'm only going to put it on my spreadsheet one time. I have to find the month it's due, the day it's due, how much time I have to pay, and put that in there. So if it's due on February, or if it's billed February 12th, due 9 days later, 12 plus 9 is 21. So I'm going to pay that, I'm going to plan to pay the renter's insurance on the 19th, the day I get my paycheck, because I have the money on that day. That way I don't have to worry about getting this $45 fee for paying it late. So $195. All right. The rest of your bills should be pretty similar to those. The auto loan, if you look at the auto loan, it is paid every month. And I chose option number 2. My payment's $369.44. It's billed on the 22nd, due 8 days later, which would be the 30th of the month. Again, there's a late fee percentage, so they charge you extra interest if you pay it late. So I'm going to find the 30th of each month, and that's when it's due. I'll probably try to pay it a couple days early if I have the money in the bank to do that. The auto insurance is only due once, and that's billed April 8th. It's due 10 days later. That's during our simulation, so I need to make sure I put that one in there as well. And so you can fill in the rest of these where they are in the spreadsheet. Let me know if you have any questions for all of those.